Today we're going to talk about a style staple in my closet that is over 150 years old. So this style staple that is over 150 years old, can you guess what it is? I have a lot of clues here. You probably have it in your wardrobe also. Today's Simple Outfit series video is all about the Breton striped top. This is absolutely one of my favorite pieces of clothing in my closet and has been for as many years as I can remember. Hello and welcome to my channel. I am Kristen from Kristen Kane's Style. I'm so glad you stopped by today. I'm a style and mindset coach and I can help you learn how to create a wardrobe that you love wearing, one that includes stripes if you want it to. Style Therapy is my signature program. It is a 3-month container. It is $3,000 and my clients get the results that they come for. There is a link down below if you would like to book your 1-hour free sales consultation call, which is where we begin. I'm going to give a little bit of history about the Breton stripe and why it kind of matters in the world of style. And then I'm going to make outfits. And this again was one where I had to rein myself in and stop. I did not pull kind of winter stripes. I'm just doing in-season stripes. The sweater I have on is cashmere because the weather at my house is still a little bit up and down, and I can wear cashmere into July, really, sometimes even in July when it's cool in the evening. So I leave cashmere in my wardrobe most of the year. I recognize that's not the case for everyone. This top that I have on could easily be a t-shirt version in a lighter weight cotton instead of in the cashmere. So today I'm going to share a little bit of history about this fabulous top because my dad was a European history teacher and I think he would want me to go there. And then I'm going to get into making outfits. So a classic Breton striped shirt. What exactly is it? It's called a Breton stripe because it was originally created in Brittany, and anything that is made in Brittany, France is considered Breton, of Brittany. So it's a Breton striped top, and it was originally part of the French naval uniform. They chose a high contrasting stripe for the uniform, so in case a sailor went overboard, they could spot him easily. The original Breton stripe made for the French Navy had 21 white stripes that were 20 millimeters wide and 21 blue stripes that were 10 millimeters wide. Thus, the classic nature of this kind of a stripe. I have not measured these, but the most classic version of a Breton stripe has a wider white stripe and a narrower navy stripe. The sweater I have on right now is black and cream, so a little bit of a variation from that original navy and white, but the width of the stripe and the white being the wider stripe is part of that original design. So the striped top that the French Navy wore was originally designed in 1858. Just for reference, Levi's were created 15 years later in 1873. So while Levi's blue jeans are a classic, iconic piece of clothing, the Breton stripe is even older. So how did it get from the French Navy to the mainstream world of women's style? Coco Chanel. So one of the most iconic fashion designers and probably my very favorite, Coco Chanel, visited the seaside in the northwest part of France back in 1913. And she decided that what she saw in those sailors actually could translate into casual women's wear. And at the time, women were still wearing corsets. So for Coco Chanel to decide that that stripe that the sailors were wearing could possibly translate into women's wear that would be worn out in the real world with a much more casual vibe was pretty groundbreaking. Between 1913 and 1917, Coco Chanel introduced this idea of this casual knit stripe, and it has since been worn by legends like Audrey Hepburn, Brigitte Bardot, and Jane Birkin. So if you also love this horizontal striped classic, you are in good company. So quickly, I just want to share why I think that stripes are such a go-to for women who want a classic, effortless style. First of all, stripes add polish without being fussy. They aren't complicated. They aren't difficult to get right, even though I know sometimes women feel that they are because I hear that from my clients. They are classics because they work and they easily can make you look put together without trying very hard. Classic stripes go with everything, from blue jeans to trousers to skirts, they work. Stripes give visible interest to an outfit while still being clean and minimal. And lastly, they're so French. I have been a Francophile for as long as I can remember, and stripes are a way for me to instantly connect with my inner French girl. So if you've been stuck in a solids-only style rut, stripes are a really great entry-level pattern. They're bold enough and interesting enough to make a statement, but they still feel grounded and timeless. So if you're new to stripes, where do you start? I know that the first myth we need to bust is the idea that you cannot wear horizontal stripes if you are in any way busty or curvy or a whole lot of other things that my clients come to me sharing. There are limiting beliefs around stripes that for some reason were started a long, long time ago, and a lot of my clients still believe those, and we have to work through it if they too have an inner French girl they want to let out, but they've been told that they can't wear horizontal stripes for whatever reason. I will say that I truly feel, and you can tell by my rack, that the best place to begin is with the most basic, classic, wider white stripe, narrower dark stripe. I believe that navy and black and some sort of white or cream is the easiest way to work these pieces into your wardrobe and have them go with all of your basics. I feel like navy, black, cream, white, whatever combination you choose, is a stripe that is going to allow you to make the most outfits. A lot of women tell me that stripes tend to be too busy and bothersome to the eye. I have found that mostly that is with stripes that are a very similar width. When you have the black and the white or the navy and the cream that are the same width, it can get a little bit busy. It can feel a little bit warbly when you look at it. So the wider white stripe with narrower dark stripe tends to be less distracting. So pay attention if you've been having trouble with stripes and look in your own wardrobe and notice, is the light background color a wider stripe and then there's a narrower stripe that's a different color? Or are the stripes all uniform? Or are the pieces in your wardrobe that you've been struggling with a wider stripe overall, which just tends to be a little bit louder and a little bit more bold. It's not that you can't do it, but it's not as entry level. It's not as forgiving and as easy to wear off the top and to play with and then get comfortable, kind of earn your stripes, if you will, and then be able to make outfits with stripes that are wider, stripes that are multicolored. So I do have some clients who don't love a high contrast, and high contrast is something that we talk about inside style therapy because it's often something women don't understand in the sense that they don't recognize that they like one way or the other. And then once we get talking about it and I can point out to them why they like some things over other things, it just clarifies what should stay and what should go during a wardrobe edit and what to bring in as you're shopping for new pieces. So the clients of mine who don't love high contrast, as in black and cream stripes, tend to go with navy and green or a pale pink and a deeper pink or pale pink and brown, things that are a little bit less contrasting as far as the two colors in the stripe. If you are not aware of that about yourself, I would caution you against picking stripes that are not classic. It could even be red and cream. I consider that a classic also, because the stripes that are not classic and that are unusual color combinations are going to be much harder to use in outfits. So if we want to make styles simple and we want to make your outfits just automatic and really easy for you, the classic stripes in the classic colors of navy and black and cream and white are going to be a much better place to start. Okay, let's make some outfits. I had tons of fun pulling these. I did have to rein myself in and not make 500 outfits with stripes because I love stripes. I wear stripes often. I never apologize for how many stripes I have. I can defend every single one. I wear them all. I wear them happily. And if I'm stuck for what to wear, I know that putting on a striped top makes me feel like myself. So that doesn't have to be true for you, but if you have been wanting to experiment with ways to wear your stripes, I'm going to show you some options. So this is a simple outfit series video, and today I'm doing something a little bit different. I have not ever done this before. I'm going to use some Pinterest images and recreate those outfits using my own pieces. I've added a few extra that I don't have Pinterest inspo for because once I got rolling, I just kept making outfits. But I'm going to share the Pinterest image and the way that I've interpreted it using what I already own. I find that this is a really good way to shop your closet, to use what you already own and actually create outfits and experiment with them. Sometimes I believe when women hear, well, they should use Pinterest to create outfits, they think once they find the outfit on Pinterest, they think they need to go buy all the pieces to create that exact same look on themselves. And I really don't believe that's true at all. And you will see as I work through these outfits how the Pinterest picture looks and how I've interpreted it using what I already own. The outfits will not be exactly the same, and I think that's the beauty of it. So first outfit, I will pop the picture that inspired this one up on the screen so you can see it. And this just is super easy and effortless. I have on a cashmere sweater because it is still a little bit cool at my house, but this could easily just be a striped jersey knit t-shirt. It does not have to be a sweater. It's just for my interpretation of this look, I chose to do a sweater. So this is probably a good time to mention that I basically use one handbag all the time. It is a tan leather, it is thrifted, it's from the company Margot, New York, and I pretty much wear one pair of sunglasses all the time and I keep them in my car. So I don't create these simple outfit series outfits with a bag and sunglasses because that's not how I create my outfits in real life. Yes, I fully understand that a handbag can change the way something looks. I could pair this with something straw, I could pair it with something bright red or bright yellow or black, and it would change the way it looks. The same as if I put on big gold sunglasses versus big black or tortoiseshell, it would change the way it looks. But that's not how I dress in my normal life. I wear one pair of sunglasses and basically carry one bag. So I'm not introducing those elements because I don't want it to change the fact that this simple outfit works regardless of what handbag you use, regardless of what sunglasses you use, regardless of whether you're going to pull on a hat because it's really bright and sunny. So here's this look. I actually really like this untucked. It feels kind of fresh and easy and definitely cooler for warmer weather. I want to just note that you will see me mix and match black and navy. I have absolutely no problem with that. Coco Chanel, Yves Saint Laurent, Giorgio Armani, they all mix and match navy blue and black. I believe if the greats are doing it, that I can certainly do it in my own wardrobe. If that really bothers you, there's no problem with that either. Just make sure that your pieces match. So I have on a black sweater with a navy and white striped top and black sandals. If that would not work for you because you have some beliefs that you have to wear them all matching or you just like it better that way, totally fine. Just make sure then that you would have the black and white version of this top. Okay, so I did pull out a straw bag. I don't usually use this except to carry like towels or blankets, if I'm going on a picnic or something like that. And I would love a smaller version of some sort of a great summer straw bag, but I just don't have one yet. This I thrifted several years ago. It sat in my office with files in it for a long time. I just really like the way it looks. However, I don't usually carry it, but for the sake of recreating this Pinterest look, she has a great straw bag, so I'm pulling one out. A lot of my wardrobe is thrifted. A lot of my wardrobe is from Quince. Some of my wardrobe is still available from other brands. If there are things I show that can be purchased or that are available with links, I will definitely link those down below so that you can check them out. Not specifically so that you can purchase the exact piece, but so that I can help begin your search if you are in the market for some new stripes or some other pieces that would coordinate with your stripes. Next, we have this really classic combo, the wide leg tan pants and the ballet flat with the cap toe. This is just a little tank top. It's the only striped top I believe that I have that's V-neck. So a little tank top and just a navy blazer. And no belt. She has no belt on, so it's difficult for me, but I opted to do no belt. So for this look, we have pale denim, which I'll chat about a little more in a minute, and a long-sleeved navy and white striped t-shirt, and then a navy blazer just over my shoulder. My navy blazer doesn't have a great crest patch here, although seeing hers kind of makes me wish mine did. And then just the ballet flats with the cap toe again. If this were an outfit I was wearing, which I absolutely would, I would probably add the leopard belt because I would want to tie it all together. Although I realize kind of the effortless French girl model chic probably wouldn't need to have it tied together and would be okay with it just not having a belt. However, I like a belt to kind of keep my pants in place because I like jeans and pants and trousers that are a little bit looser and slouchier. So I like the way a belt ties the look together, and I also like the functionality. So I would probably opt to put a belt on with this, but I think the whole look is great and super timeless and classic. And it would work just as well with the blazer actually on. I tend to wear my blazers, not wear them over my shoulders, kind of in style editor mode. I do actually like the navy blazer with the sleeves pushed up. I have worn this many times this way because I like the stripe kind of sticking out at the bottom, and I always push up my blazer sleeves. So if I were going to put the blazer on, I would probably do this. Okay, so let's talk about these blue jeans. I heard a lot of hype about this denim before I ever tried these on. It was love at first sight and then love at first try on. These are new to me. They are still available in stores and online. They are Levi's 50190s. This pair is what they consider lightweight. They call it lightweight. It is cotton and lyocell. Lyocell is a synthetic fabric that is made from paper pulp. And so they wash and dry really well. They do not have any stretch in them, but they do ease just like 100% cotton would as far as getting more comfortable and softer and roomier as you wear them. They're fantastic. And I have actually already ordered another pair because I love them so much. I have been having trouble finding thrifted Levi's that I love, where for a while I was thrifting them and finding them, plentifully. That has not been the case since I moved to Utah, and some of my older Levi's are wearing out, and I really wanted some options that looked like the older ones, looked like they were vintage, but that I could get readily available and that weren't outrageously expensive premium denim price. So I think these were about $98. They always put them on sale. The pair I just purchased was $29 online. So I am just mentioning that in case you are on the hunt for Levi's and or don't have good thrifting in your area. These 50190s are incredible. I love them. Okay, this one, so classic and so easy, yet so elevated and great. This is just a great oversized cotton sweater. This is Quince Fisherman Knit. I will list the outfits down below and I will share any links that are available for the pieces. This sweater is incredible. This is an alternative to the whiter background. So the navy is obviously the background here, and then the stripe is white. Paired back to this pair of Gap pants that turned out to be way better than I expected, although I should have known it because every influencer I follow had a pair of these Gap pants. And they're a little bit heavy for full-on summer, but I can still wear them right now. And then I have borrowed just a little silver slingback from my daughter, Greta. Thank you, Greta. So this look, I did take some creative license. I used to have a little black puffer jacket from Uniqlo, like the olive green one that I purchased recently. I lost the black one. So if I had that still, I would have put that on top of this. So instead I decided I would grab a sweater and see if I could create a similar look. So I intentionally pulled this little thrifted navy blue cardigan that has the horizontal stripe at the bottom because it felt a little bit fun and interesting against the horizontal stripe t-shirt. And then I just paired it back to white Converse because I don't have black Converse, but it gives the same effect. I'm showing it untucked because that is more in keeping with the Pinterest picture, and yet everything in me either wants the t-shirt to be shorter or to be front tucked a little bit to change up the length a little bit and make it more interesting and not have both tops hit really low below my hip bone. I prefer the sweet spot of tops and sweaters and jackets hitting kind of right at my hip bone. I feel like that just looks really proportionally correct on most women. It allows the eye to move without it getting kind of stuck anywhere. We certainly don't want the eye to get stuck kind of at the part that is often our widest. So if I could wave my magic wand, I would have both of them stop a little bit higher on my body, and yet I don't have that. So this is the look for today, and I don't dislike it. I just wish both pieces were a little shorter. So this one is a little different for a lot of reasons. Bright red dress, which is out of my normal wheelhouse, and I have chosen a stripe that, while it still has the wider white background, it alternates between red and blue. This is an old thrifted cotton sweater from Wooden Ships. I actually love this sweater. I really only wear it in the summer because it doesn't layer super well with a t-shirt underneath it. The knit is a little soft and the neckline is a little wide. I'll put it on with this in a minute so you can see. Instead of white Converse, I paired this back to the red Adidas because I like the way the brightness works. This dress, you'll notice I haven't taken the tag off of yet. It is Quince, it is gauze, it is sleeveless, it is fantastic. I actually just ordered it in a pale blue and white stripe. I have not received that one yet, but this is a fantastic dress for summer. So for this Pinterest look, sweater just draped over my shoulders, back to the red sneaker. And if I want to, I can put the sweater over a dress. I have worn this sweater over a navy blue dress, but I did not have this red dress last summer, so I haven't done this yet. Because the neckline is kind of boat neck and slouchy, it allows the sweater to kind of fall off my shoulder, which I think is a nice casual summer look. So this one is not a Pinterest look. As I said, I went a little bit rogue after I created the Pinterest outfits and just decided to keep pairing more things with stripes. So if I were going to dress up some stripes, if I wanted to do something that was a little more evening or elevated, I would absolutely do a really fine gauge knit like this one from Zara. This is many years old. I actually bought it in Norway. However, I know that in the US and probably in the other countries where Zara is sold, they have a version of this pretty much every spring. And then I paired it back to a thrifted pale blue pleated skirt. That's like a mouthful. Paired it back to a thrifted pale blue pleated skirt. There we go. And Greta's little shoes. I kind of feel like maybe when she comes home, she's going to wonder how her shoes ended up in so many outfits. Thank you, Greta. And with this, I could put on some sort of a necklace. I would probably opt for maybe some pearls like these, just to kind of pull the whole look together and make the pieces feel intentional and much more elevated and possibly evening. I would actually wear this to a wedding. Okay, and then for this look, you might be wondering, Kristen, where are the stripes? For this look, I pulled this great fisherman knit cardigan from Quince. It is heavy, feels like a summer night, kind of on the beach or sitting outside on a patio or a porch. It's fantastic. I just paired it back, kind of to a lot of Quince, to this Quince, just little linen sleeveless shell. And then these are Quince jeans. They are the Bella Barrel jean. And I really just like the really pale wash for summer. And I like the shape because they're not too exaggerated a barrel. So this one is not a Pinterest inspired look. It was just inspired by Pinterest and the outfits that I created from Pinterest. Then I just kept rolling with them. This is an example of a way you can incorporate stripes that are not traditionally the Breton stripe top. This has the same idea, the wider cream and the narrower black, but it's different than just a classic striped t-shirt. Okay, so this one, again, not a Pinterest look. Once I was inspired by Pinterest, I just kept making outfits. So this is a great little thrifted t-shirt from Green Envelope. I thrifted this a few years ago. I love it because it's kind of a boucle texture. It has sort of a Chanel vibe. And to me, what could be better than a navy and white stripe that has a Chanel vibe that's beyond just being navy and white stripe? I like a little bit of fringe at the collar and the sleeve and at the hemline. And I think it's just a little more elevated than a regular jersey knit t-shirt. I could easily do this look with that also, but I like that this elevates it a little bit. Just back to black sandals. This is an Old Navy olive green little jacket. There are many, many versions of this little jacket out there. You probably have one in your closet. This color is always great back to a navy and white or a black and white stripe. And then these are actually pants I bought when I was in California. They are from CP Shades, which has long been one of my very favorite brands. And they're my first pair of CP Shades pants. I've had a couple of tops over the years that were thrifted, but this is my first pair of pants. I love the wide leg. I have not even cut the tag off of them yet because it's just now warm enough to wear them, but I like the flow and they feel nice and cool and summery while still being interesting and still being navy. So we're getting close to the end, and I want to mention pattern mixing because stripes are a pattern that is fairly easy to mix with other patterns, specifically florals. So a stripe and a floral can look really intentional and really beautiful if that's something you're interested in trying, and it can take a little bit of experimentation. So I left this top on specifically to show you that I probably wouldn't do these two together. There's something too busy about the top back to the skirt. They both have a lot going on. This stripe feels a little small and a little dense next to this skirt. So I'm going to put this t-shirt on and show you the difference. So I would absolutely pair this wider striped t-shirt back to this skirt. I don't pattern mix very often because it's one more step that feels a little bit complicated to me. It's not that I don't know how to do it. It's not that I can't help others do it. It just isn't something that's super authentic for me. When I make outfits, I don't want to have to think, is this stripe the right width? Does it work with this floral? It just feels a little contrived. I don't think it looks contrived on others when it's done in a way that feels authentic for them, but it's not as authentic for me, so I tend to not do it. But I wanted to show you that this does work if you wanted to mix stripes with a floral. The thing to pay attention to is how does your eye feel about it? When you look at it, you want some balance. You want to make sure that there is enough white space. So in the case of this t-shirt, I have this one behind my back, this t-shirt provides enough grounding white space that the floral of the skirt can work with this t-shirt. And yet when I had it on with this one, there's just too much going on with this t-shirt and it just feels busy. So you merely need to experiment in your own closet. Take pictures of different combinations if you want to mix stripes with other patterns. You can also mix stripes with stripes. I do this often with my Adidas Sambas because they have a stripe. And so if I wear a striped top with the Adidas Sambas, I'm essentially mixing pattern or mixing stripes. And that's totally doable. You just want to play around with it and make sure you feel comfortable in it. And sometimes baby steps are the best way to start. And that baby step, I find one of the easiest ways for my clients to work stripes and patterns together is to start with a classic striped top and add a floral scarf. And the scarf feels a little more manageable and approachable as a piece to mix with a stripe, and it usually works. Okay, and I'll finish today with one last Pinterest look. This one's classic combination: ivory blazer, long sleeved striped t-shirt, wide leg linen pants, and Converse. So that was super special for me to be able to share a large portion of my stripe collection with you. If you've followed me for any length of time, you know that stripes are in my wheelhouse. They are always in my closet and in my wardrobe. I love wearing them. I love pairing them with lots of different things. And today, I even got some new ideas from Pinterest and from playing around with my own wardrobe after I created the Pinterest looks. So do that in your own closet. Go to Pinterest, find some looks that you love, and go to your own closet and see what you can recreate. It doesn't have to be exact. You don't need to go buy anything. Play around with it and make it your own. If you would like my help getting your wardrobe sorted so that you can absolutely get dressed with ease and inspire yourself to keep creating new outfits using what you already own, my signature program, Style Therapy, does include a Pinterest element and so much more. If you'd like to work one-on-one with me inside Style Therapy, we will pay attention to what's happening in your wardrobe and we will pay attention to what's happening in your mind, because the two have to go together or getting dressed will never be effortless and easy for you. The very first step is a free 1-hour sales consultation to see if we're a good fit. There's a link down below for you to book your call. Thank you so much for being here for this Simple Outfit series video all about stripes and striped outfits. I truly can't wait to be wearing my way through these. And if you have a feeling about stripes one way or the other, I'd love it if you'd share it down below. I really enjoy reading all your comments. I love this community and I thank you so much for showing up here and supporting my work. If you'd like to keep watching, I'll drop another video right here. I hope you have a really beautiful week and I'll be back next Friday. Although I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to top this one.